This is an anonymous question. It says, my brother, a very caring and loving person, is leaving for Iraq soon. He is not saved, but is always open for discussion about God. If anything were to happen to him and he died, does he go to hell?
Do you have a word of knowledge on this one?
No. Yeah, see, I would need a word of knowledge to answer that. Because I don't see anything in the Bible that legitimizes any human being claiming to know that another person is definitively lost.
Right.
It seems to me that it really is limiting the love of God, the grace of God, the power of God to do that. You just can't, I don't think you can know that. Only one time in the New Testament does anyone ever claim to know that someone's in hell, and that's Jesus. He's talking about the rich man, and that's in the middle of a parable, which I don't think you should go looking in a parable for metaphysical details. So only God, and we judge the outside, but only God knows the heart. I really don't believe, and we could get into this a lot more later on, but that the God who's revealed in Jesus Christ would leverage someone's eternity on where they happen to be born and whether they said a certain prayer or whether the person who witnessed to them had bad breath or not. I mean, there's so many things that go into whether or not a person, or whether they happen to come into some really jerky Christians and therefore rejected the whole thing. Only God can parse that all out. So we just got to love and proclaim the good news and let God do the rest.
Yeah. Which is why God keeps, the scriptures keep hitting over and over, our place is not to judge, those sorts of things. Our place is to bless, our place is to, I think, following Paul's example, in 1 Corinthians 5, he's dealing with a pretty raw case, right? It's a man in the Corinthian church that had been apparently sleeping with his father's wife.
Mother-in-law.
Yeah.
Stepmother. No, not mother-in-law.
We're not going to go deep into this, but
either way.
What Paul says is he says to turn this man over to Satan for the destruction of his flesh, which sounds like, okay, this is done. But it's interesting, Paul's last words there, so that his soul might be saved in the day of the Lord. Paul, even as he turns someone over to Satan for destruction, he still has hope that might be the thing that turns this man around. So I think following Paul's example, we need to always have hope because our God is a God of hope. Now, whether that hope will play out, we don't know, but that's God's business, not ours.